Hello everyone. Topic for today's discussion will be on lasers in dentistry. Coming to introduction, lasers have become an important aspect of everyday life. Be it laser compact displays, laser barcode scanners in supermarket or laser printers in office. A new era has begun in the use of lasers in the medical field. The advent of lasers has offered new possibilities for improved service for patients. Practicing dentistry can be more exciting and rewarding using laser technology. The word laser is an acronym for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Laser is a device that creates uniform and coherent light that is very different from ordinary light bulb. Getting a bit into history, in 1916, Albert Einstein proposed quantum theory of radiation. In 1953, Townes invented maser. In 1958, Shallow and Townes explored laser. In 1960, uranium laser was invented by IBM Laboratories. In 1964, neodymium YAG and carbon dioxide laser was invented by Bell Laboratories. In 1997, erbium chromium got approval from FDA. In 2000, water laser was invented. In 2010, iLase laser was introduced. Laser is a form of electromagnetic energy. Coming to the properties of a laser beam are monochromaticity. Here the radiation in which all the waves are of same frequency and wavelength. Next comes coherence. Here the radiation where all the waves travel in the same phase. Collimated, all emitted waves are parallel to each other and beam divergence is very low. This property is very important for good transmission through delivery systems. Coming to laser physics. Now, what is stimulated emission? If an atom in excited state is struck by a photon of identical energy as the photon to be emitted, emission would be stimulated to occur earlier than would occur spontaneously. This stimulated interaction causes two photons that are identical in frequency and wavelength to leave the atom. Next comes amplification or a spontaneous emission. Intense beam of light can be created. The laser may be activated by few photons which then act to produce many more, and initial light generated is computed to make a very bright compact beam. Coming to the laser components and beam generation. Coming to the components of a laser. There are three main parts of a laser delivery system. First one is lasing or active medium. Here the material which is capable of absorbing the energy produced by the external source gives out excess energy in the form of photons. Lasing medium could be solid, liquid or gas. Second one is energy or a pumping source. It is used to excite or pump the atoms in the lasing medium to higher energy levels. Pumping source could be electrical, thermal, chemical or optical. The third one is optical or resonating chamber. The lasing medium is located within the optical chamber. It is a cylindrical structure with fully reflective mirror on one side and partially reflective mirror on the other side. Coming to the laser beam generation. Here high voltage quartz tube emits intense beam of light exciting some of the atoms in a ruby crystal to higher energy level. At specific energy level, some atoms emit particles of light called photons. Photons from one atom stimulate emission of photons from the other atom and intensity is rapidly amplified. Mirrors at each end reflect photons back and forth, continuing the process of stimulation and amplification. Finally, the photons leave through the partially silvered reflecting mirror at one end. Coming to the laser emission mode, continuous wave mode. Here the beam is emitted at one power level, continuing as long as the device is activated. Gated pulse mode. There will be periodic alteration of laser energy being on and off. Free running pulse mode. Here the large peak laser energy emitted for an extremely short time span followed by a long time in which laser will be off. Coming to laser tissue effect. Absorption. Here the light energy is absorbed by a tissue and converted into thermal energy. Next comes transmission. The laser energy is transferred through the tissue without an interaction and does not cause any effect or injury. Next comes the reflection. The laser energy results in the little or no absorption. There won't be any thermal effect on tissues. Scattering. The light travels in different directions and energy is absorbed over a greater surface area, produces less intense and less precise thermal effect. Coming to classifications of laser, depending upon the type of application, they are classified as soft tissue lasers and hard tissue lasers. Depending upon the type of laser medium used, they are classified as a gaseous, solid and a liquid. Depending upon the interactions with the tissues, they are classified as a contact and a non-contact lasers. Most commonly used lasers in dentistry are carbon dioxide laser, erbium YAG, neodymium YAG laser, diode laser and the argon laser. Coming to the applications of lasers in the conservative dentistry. Lasers are used widely in the conservative treatment procedures such as detection and diagnosis of caries, prevention of the caries, cavity preparation on the tooth, etching and bonding techniques, bleaching procedures, curing of composites and hypersensitivity treatment. Lasers used in endodontic procedures such as pulpal diagnosis, pulp capping and pulpotomy procedures, access cavity preparations, cleaning and disinfecting of the root canal system, obturation procedures, endodontic treatment and apical surgeries. Coming to the applications of lasers in cosmetic dentistry. Lasers used in the cosmetic procedures such as crown lengthening, gingivoplasty, freenectomy, laser bleaching and curing of composites. Coming to the advantages of lasers in dentistry, lasers provide minimal damage to the surrounding tissues. Lasers gives hemostatic effect. There is precision in tissue destruction, reduction of post-operative inflammation and edema. Post-operative scarring is minimal, reduced post-operative pain sensation. Suturing is not required, operating time is reduced, sterilization of the wound is gained, reduction in demineralization and no ionizing radiation. Coming to the drawbacks or the disadvantages, laser beam could injure the patient or the operator. Laser causes irreversible pulpal damage. Laser ignite the combustible gases. Loss of tactile feedback. Fluid reduces the laser efficiency. Specially trained persons are needed for the operation and high cost of the equipment. Coming to dental laser safety. According to the recommendations given by ANSIR, use of eye shield for the patient and all the staff in the operating room. The type of eye shields used for the carbon dioxide laser will be clear glass. For neodymium, it will be green tinted, and for argon laser, it will be orange colored. Use of face masks, gowns and head caps. High vacuum evacuation systems that prevent spatter and laser light injury. Laser warning signs must be posted on the doors. I would like to conclude by saying that it is most important for dental practitioner to become familiar with the laser principles and then choose right laser for intended clinical applications, because each wavelength and each device has specific advantages and disadvantages. The clinician who understands these principles can take full advantage of features of lasers and can provide safe and effective dental treatment. Laser treatment not only is helpful in treating general problems of the teeth, but also helps to reduce fear and anxiety of the patients towards treatment. Thank you.